Hello. Happy Thanksgiving. I thought I would read a few paragraphs from, and the motivation for doing this was and is from a recent response to the most recent video I made, where the question was asked, what's the scope of this study from Professor Yannaras' position? Is it all of the Middle Ages? Is it the history of Europe? Is it ethnic Greek? Is it West versus East? What's the scope here? And I have no answer. And in these pages, I would suggest that Mr. Yannaras is not casting lines or casting a line for that fish, but in many places in this text, he countenances those concerns, if indirectly, even indirectly. So let's begin with the book. This is beyond the prologue, the preface to chapter 1, the ecstatic character of personhood. And he has one of those chapter lemmas. See that little symbol there? It's not too apparent under this light, but it's a number 1 with the symbol escapes me. The fact of relation. Remember that phrase, the fact. That phrase will become more and more important as the argument proceeds in this book. The fact of relation as the initial assumption of the ontological question, and the person as the sole existential possibility of relation. And then he'll spend the next paragraphs in this section of chapter 1 outlining what is compressed in that short sentence. The fact of relation as the initial assumption. So that word assumption, this bears a few minutes of looking into. As I was driving home this evening, thinking about the production of this video, I thought about the word assumption and how many valences it has in usage, common usage. There is the line from Walt Whitman in his Leaves of Grass where he says something, I will paraphrase now. And what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to you as good belongs to me. Good, atom, belonging, assume. He takes that word assume as the verb. What I assume you shall assume. Now cast your mind to, you might not have guessed I was going here, Euclidean geometry, where to begin the process of constructing equilateral triangles, which is the first demonstration in the book, there has to be pages of axioms and definitions and clearing of the throat, as it were, and tending of the lawn before the baseball game can look like a baseball game. These preemptive moves are classed as assumptions. That is to say, by assuming the hypothetical existence of a straight line, defined as it is defined in Euclid's axioms, we may assume the construction of an equilateral triangle for every atom belonging to the straight line as good. Read into that word good, functional, belongs to the object known as equilateral triangle. Just as every recognition of the baseball bat hitting the ball out of the park and the baseball runner professionally running through the diamond home, so too the QED after every demonstration in Euclidean geometry is recognized as such because of the flavor profile of assumption here. Forgive me, that was convoluted. The fact of relation is the initial assumption of the ontological question, and the person as the sole existential possibility of relation. So now we're moving into the first sentence of the first paragraph. By the word prosopon, we define a referential reality. The referential character of the term is revealed fundamentally by its primitive use, that is, by its grammatical construction and etymology. The preposition pros, P-R-O-S, towards, together with the noun ops, hopos, O-P-O-S, in the genitive, which means I, face, countenance, form the composite word prosopon, proshopon, person. I have my face turned towards someone or something. I am opposite someone or something. The word thus functioned initially as a term indicating an immediate reference, a relationship. And I think that's enough. So what he's assuming is not a straight line of definition, but a relation, a towards the face, the eye, the countenance. No, we should go into the next paragraph. Proshopon, or person, is defined as reference and relation, and itself defines a reference and relation. The word's primordial semantic content does not allow us to interpret personhood simply as individuality outside the field of relation. The individual, the undivided, the atom, the not cuttable, this is not early on in the stages of Mr. Yannaras' argument something that matters. What matters is the relation. And you could think of it as a relation in a relation. For this relation referred to by the compound word prosopon is a relation. So this relative word, which itself bears a relation in itself to what it means something that is in relation to whatever it's toward. So nowhere in that relay is there individuality sealed tight in aloneness. Every grass blade of the baseball field matters relationally to the cracking of the bat on the ball that was thrown by the pitcher, who has his or her eyes scanning the field as a good pitcher would. And that's enough for tonight. Have a great evening. Have a nice evening or a nice day, depending on when you watch this video. Forgive me. Take care.